second book of Moses, Exodus chapter 21. Now these are the judgments which you shall set before them. If you buy a Hebrew servant, he shall serve 6 years, and in the 7th year he shall go out free and pay nothing. And if he comes in by himself, he shall go out by himself. If he comes in married, then his wife shall go out with him. If his master has given him a wife, and she has been born sons or daughters, the wife and her children shall be her masters, and he shall go out by himself. But if he who kidnaps a man and sells him, or if he is found in his hand, shall surely be put to death. And he who curses his father or his mother shall truly be put to death. If men contend with each other, and one strikes the other with a stone or with his fist, and he does not die, but is confined to his bed, if he rises again and walks outside with his staff, then he who struck him shall be acquitted. He shall only pay for the loss of his time, and shall provide for him to be thoroughly healed. And if a man beats his male or female servant with a rod, so that he dies under his hand, he shall surely be punished. Notwithstanding, if he remains alive a day or two, he shall not be punished, for he is his property. If men fight and hurt a woman with child, so that she gives birth prematurely, yet no harm follows, he shall surely be punished according to as the woman's husband imposes on him, and he shall pay as the judges determine. But if any harm follows, then you shall give life for life, an eye for an eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot, burn for burn, wound for wound, stripe for stripe. If a man strikes the eye of his male or female servant, and destroys it, he shall let him go free for the sake of his eye. And if he knocks out the tooth of his male or female servant, he shall let him go free for the sake of his tooth. If an ox gorges a man or a woman to death, then the ox shall surely be stoned, and its flesh shall be not eaten, but the owner of it put to death. There is imposed on him a sum of money, then he shall pay to redeem his life whatever is imposed on him, whether it has gorged a son or gorged a daughter. According to this judgment, it shall be done to him. And if the ox gorges a man or a female servant, he shall give their master 30 shekels of silver, and the ox shall be stoned. And if a man opens a pit, or if a man digs a pit and does not cover it, and an ox or a donkey falls in it, the owner of the pit shall make it good. He shall give money to their owner, but the dead animal shall be his. And if one man ox hurts another's, so that it dies, then they shall sell the live ox and divide the money from it, and if the dead ox, they shall also divide. Or if it was known that the ox tended to thrust in the time past, and if its owner has not kept it confined, he shall surely pay ox for ox, and then the dead animal shall be his own. Chapter 22. If a man steals an ox or a sheep and slaughters it or sells it, he shall restore 5 oxen. For an oxen on him, there shall be guilt for his bloodshed. He should make full restitution if he has nothing, and then he shall be sold for his theft. Theft is certainly found alive in his hand, whether it is an ox or a donkey or a sheep, he shall restore double. If a man causes a field or a vineyard to be grazed, and lets loose his animal, and it feeds in another man's field, he shall make restitution for the best of his own field and the best of his own vineyard. If fire breaks out and catches in thorns, so that the stacked grain, standing grain, or the field is consumed, he who kindled the fire shall surely make restitution. If a man delivers to his neighbor money or articles to keep, and it is stolen out of the man's house, if the thief is found, he shall pay double. If the thief is not found, then the master of the house shall be brought to the judges to see whether he has put his hand into his neighbor's goods. For any kind of trespass, whether it concerns an ox or a donkey or a sheep or clothing, for any other kind of lost thing which another claims to be his, the cause of both parties shall come before the judges, and whomever the judges condemn shall pay double to his neighbor. If a man delivers to his neighbor a donkey or an ox or a sheep, or any kind of animal to keep, and if it dies, is hurt, or driven away, no one seeing it, then an oath of the Lord shall be between them both, that he has put to his hands into his neighbor's goods, and the owner of it shall accept that, and he shall not make it good. But if in fact it is stolen from him, and then he shall If it is stolen from him, you shall make restitution to the owner of it. If it is torn to pieces by a beast, then shall not be doing with it, but he shall be making sure it's good. If its owner was with it, he shall not make it good. If it was hired, it came for its hire. If a man entices a virgin who is not betrothed and lies with her, he shall surely pay the bride price for her to be his wife. If her father utterly refuses to give her to him, he shall pay money according to the bride price of virgins. You shall not permit a sorceress to live. Whoever lies with an animal shall surely be put to death. He who sacrifices to any god, except to the Lord, only he shall be utterly destroyed. You shall neither mistreat a stranger nor oppress him, for you were strangers in the land of Egypt. You shall not afflict any widow or fatherless child. If you afflict them in any way, and they cry at all to me, I will surely hear their cry, and my wrath will become hot, and I will kill you with the sword. Interest. If you ever take your neighbor's garment as a pledge, you shall return it to him before the sun goes down. For that is the only covering. It is his garment for his skin. What will he sleep in? And it will be that when he cries to me, I will hear, for I am gracious. You shall not revile God, nor curse a ruler of your people. You shall not delay to offer the first of your ripe produce and your juices. The firstborn of your sons you shall give to me. Likewise, you shall do with your oxen and your sheep, and it shall be with its mother. 7 days on, the 8th day, you shall give it to me. And you shall be the only holy men to me. You shall just witness. You shall not follow a crowd to do evil, nor shall you testify in a dispute so as to turn aside after many to pervert justice. You shall not show partiality to a poor man in his dispute. If you meet your enemy's ox or his donkey going astray, you shall surely bring it back to him again. You see the donkey of one who hates you lying under its burden, you would not refrain from helping it. You shall surely help him with it. You shall not pervert the judgment of your poor in his dispute. Keep yourself far from a false matter. Do not kill the innocent and righteous, for I will not justify the wicked. And you shall take no bribe, for a bribe blinds the discerning and perverts the words of the righteous. Also, you shall not oppress a stranger, for you know the heart of a stranger, because you were strangers in the land of Egypt. 6 years you shall sow your land and gather in its produce, but the 7th year you shall let it rest and lie fallow, and that the poor of your people may eat. And what they leave, the beast of the field may eat. And in like manner you shall do with your vineyard and your olive grove. 6 days you shall do your work, and on the 7th day you shall rest, that your ox and your donkey may rest, and that the son of your female servant and the stranger may be refreshed. And in all that I have said to you, be circumspect, and make no mention of the name of the other gods, nor let it be heard from your mouth. 3 times you shall keep a feast to me in the year. You shall keep the feast of the unleavened bread. You shall eat unleavened bread 7 days, and as I commanded you at the time appointed in the month of Abib, for in it you shall come out of Egypt. None shall appear before me empty. And the feast of harvest, the first fruits of your labors which you have sown in the field, and the feast of ingathering, at the end of the year when you have gathered in the fruit of your labors from the field. 3 times in the year all your males shall appear before the Lord God. You shall not offer the blood of my sacrifice with leavened bread, nor shall the fat of my sacrifice remaining until morning. The firstfruits of your land you shall bring into the house of your Lord your God. You shall not boil a young goat in its mother's milk. Behold, I send an angel before you to keep you in the way and to bring you into the place which I have prepared. Beware of him and obey his voice. Do not provoke him, for he will not pardon your transgressions, for my name is in his sin, and is in him. But if you indeed obey his voice and do all that I speak, then I will be an enemy to your enemies and an adversary for your adversaries. For my angel will go before you and bring you in to the Amorites and the Hittites and the Perizzites and the Canaanites and the Hivites and the Jebusites, and I will cut them off. You shall not bow down to their gods, nor serve them, nor do according to their works, but you shall utterly overthrow them and completely break down their sacred pillars. So you shall serve the Lord your God, and he will bless your bread and your water, and I will take sickness away from the midst of you. No one shall suffer miscarriage or be barren in your land, and I will fulfill the number of your days. I will send my fear before you, and I will cause confusion among all the people to whom you come, and will make all of your enemies turn their backs to you. And I will send them hornets before you, which shall drive out the Hivite, the Canaanite, and the Hittite before you. I will not drive them out from before you in 1 year, lest the land become desolate, and the beasts of the field become too numerous for you. Little by little I will drive them out before you until I have increased, and you have inherited the land. And I will set your bounds from the Red Sea to the sea, Philistia, and from the desert to the river. For I will deliver the inhabitants of the land into your hand, and you shall drive them out before you. You shall make no covenant with them, nor with their gods. They shall not dwell in your land, lest they make you sin against me. For if you serve their gods, it will surely be a snare to you. I have read from you from the second book of Moses, Exodus, chapters 21 through 23.